Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything. I'm coming back at you with another Wargaming miniature video. This is a continuation of my Market Garden project updates. Just to let you know, the convention is in 1 week, and I had we've done some play testing where we play tested the 3 scenarios that we're going to be running. We're running them all concurrently, so we're going to have the Son.Veghel scenario going on at the same time that I'm having the Mook Bridge scenario at the same time that we're having the first para scenario going on. So there's going to be basically 3 tables with 3 games going on. And I've got the armies set up right here. I've printed out some army lists, and at the end of this video I'm going to go through and I'm going to kind of show you the forces that we are going to be using. I have a number of figures here, over there, and down on that tray there that we're not going to be taking to the convention. Okay, so like I said, we did some play testing over the last 3 weeks. We played the Son.Veghel. I think we played that one on video, so you can actually watch that one. But the 82nd battle and the first para, we didn't put it on camera. One of the reasons why I wanted to kind of surprise people at the convention so they didn't know what was to be expected. The Son.Veghel is actually out of the book, and I've modified it a little bit. But the 82nd and the 1st Airborne scenarios are my brainchild, so I made those. Okay, so let me get back to where we play tested these, and over the course of those 3 weeks, I toyed with making small units, making big units, different types of accessories like machine guns and mortars and bazookas and snipers and medics and a lieutenant with a captain, or a first lieutenant with a major, or various things, right? So we tried a little bit of everything, and one week we would have small units and a lot of them. The next week we would have large units but less of them, and then the next week we would have more points but bigger units, or whatever. And basically what I should say more dice, because depending on how you build your armies, you can actually have more dice. So because every single maneuver element in your army gets a die in the bag, and when you have to pull dice out to perform your tasks, the more dice that are in, this is a realization that I came to, was the more dice that are in the bag, the slower the game goes, because you have to, like, if there's 12 dice on a side, which is about what I was playing with the big armies, 12 dice on a side, that's 24 dice that are in the bag. So you're playing 24 turns to get through 1 turn. And then on the flip side, with these armies, there's about 8 dice per side in the bag. That's only 16. 16 dice coming out of the bag will be 1 turn. That's a big difference, 16 to 24. Okay, so I've came to the conclusion that there needs to be less dice. Okay, but I wanted there to be more troops. So I made my units, almost all the units are full size. So you've got the leader with his 2 attendants, you've got the medic and an extra guy, you've got 10-man squads or 12-man squads or what have you. So the not every one of them, but most of them are full-size units. But because I'm going full-size units to get less dice, the other part of it was points. I had feature creep, or if you want to call it, or point creep, where I would say, well, because I've got a ton of figures over there, I said, maybe I could make 2 squads. You know, maybe I can give them an extra vehicle. Maybe I can give them this. I've got this anti-tank gun. Let me put it in the army. And what I was doing was I was creating unmanageable armies. I don't want there to be, I don't want to have players sit down at the table and have a million choices of what to do. I want them to be focused. I want them to have 1 or 2 squads, maybe a support weapon per player. And I don't want it to be too cumbersome. And that's what I was wind up doing on a couple of those scenarios. So I realized what I needed to do was keep the points down. When we played 1,200 points, I noticed we had like 13, 14 dice. But when I bring these armies down to 1,000 points, they tend to be 8 dice, 7 or 8 dice. And that's what we're going to do. 8 dice is perfect. That means 2 players, they each can get 4 dice, which basically means they both have their own units, right? I can even mix up the dice per player, per table, because this table can use green and brown, and that table could use green and brown, and they won't get mixed up, right? So I don't have to use all green on this table and all brown on that table. I could give each player their own die. And I think that's what we're going to do. That way, it'll break it down even more. Okay. So these armies now are going to be approximately 1,000 points. They're actually a few points over. Who cares, right? Like this guy, he's 1,008. And this guy, he's 922, not even 1,000. But I've given... like this guy's 1068. So, you know, it's close. I put what I wanted in the armies and not specifically. As you know, I don't really focus on points, but I did think about points when I was looking at the scenarios. Like, okay, this guy's attacking. He probably needs a couple extra points. That's what I was thinking, but I didn't focus on that. I did kind of focus on what kind of models I had, because, like, you know, if I had a rifle, I gave him a rifle. If I've got an assault rifle, I gave him an assault rifle. That kind of stuff. How many machine guns models do I actually have? So nothing on the table is going to be modeled that the troops aren't equipped with, except for the Panzerfausts. I've got some Panzerfausts being carried by pretty much every group, but there's no need for Panzerfaust because the Allies are paratroopers and they don't have anything that you can hit with a Panzerfaust, except for maybe those Jeeps. I've got a couple of Jeeps in the British Army, but that's okay. We're not using Panzerfausts, so we don't have to worry about Panzerfausts in the description to the players, because I'm going to write up a sheet for every battle, the rules that they will need to know in that battle. Like, this battle doesn't need to know about tanks. This battle doesn't need to know about recce vehicles, because this one does. This is a recce vehicle, this has a tank. That has open-topped half-tracks. So these guys don't need to know those rules. They do. So basically, each battle is going to get their own little write-up of the rules that pertain to their table, which is pretty much mostly just infantry. And then on that one, they got some half-tracks. This has 1 tank. This has 1 armored car. You know, okay. All right, so all the terrain is built. Okay, all the terrain is not completely finished, but it is built. The hedges are built, the walls are built, the buildings are all constructed, everything is built. Not everything is painted fully or whatever. But we're almost done. We're not playing this Thursday, so I work the next couple of days, 3 days, and then I've got the rest of the week off. So I'll be able to take those 3 or 4 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll be able to use those days to make sure everything is done. All the tiles are finished. You saw me build the tiles. All the bridges are both done. I have some rivers and some roads that I built a long time ago. They're individual pieces that you would lay on the table, and that's where the 80 seconds table is going to come in, because it's going to be a blanket with some rivers and a road and a bridge on there. And then the 101st has got their own. I've got their tiles in boxes, and then I've got the the first para. I've got the Arnhem tiles in a box. We've got enough trees, we've got enough buildings. So also over the next few days, I'm going to be taking my tubs, I'm going to be emptying them out, and I'm going to be putting things in my tubs to carry down to the convention, right? To make it easy for portability. So we can just walk in with a tub, pull all the trees out. Walk in with a tub, pull all the buildings out. The boxes are for the tiles. Okay, couple of things. I told you I was going to paint the fountain. Well, I did. I'm going to give you a close-up. When I do the troops, you'll get a close-up of the fountain, but it came out really well. And I've got the water effect down here. I probably should get some of my gloss paint and hit that to make it even glossier. But I did use a gloss blue paint on that. But then I went and highlighted it with some light blue for the ripples, and that kind of dulled it down. I thought about using some of the Liquitex, putting it on there to give it some depth of water. I thought about doing that, and then maybe putting some Liquitex on this. Or I also have just gloss paint that I could, clear gloss coat, right, that I could just paint on there. I thought about doing that. Since I got a ton of that, that's probably the direction I'm going to go. And the Liquitex, I don't know. I don't know which way I'm going to do it. But it actually looks really good like this on the table. This actually goes on the Arnhem battle. But we'll get a close-up of that. Okay, this is a 1-inch from Warhammer Fantasy Battles 1st edition. This is maybe 2nd edition. I think they're up to 8th edition or something. But this came off of a sprue of templates. This is 2 inches. This is great for when the tank fires HE. All the other stuff has a 1-inch template, which is the size of a base. So you can hit multiple targets with a 1-inch template. But the 2-inch template from the tank, this is the only battle that needs it. I took all the mortars out. There's no mortars in the battle. None. There's only one anti-tank gun. It's in there, and it's small. So it's got a 1-inch HE template. There's no artillery in the game. There's no bombs, no planes. So there's only one template that's needed, and it's on this table right here, the 82nd. Will it ever be used? Probably not. Well, I take that back. It'll probably be used a lot, because this tank is only going to be shooting at infantry. Okay, so that's good. Something I did on a side project that I thought about not taking these with me, but I am going to take these with me because it'll help with die rolls. Oh, there's hair. I bought these wooden trays, right? This one and this one at Hobby Lobby, and then I bought some felt. And under this felt, there's actually a very thin layer of cork. The cork is about 1 or 2 millimeters. It's super thin. And then the felt is sitting on top of the cork. So now when I roll my dice, they'll land in here. And you can hear right here. It's not going to make a lot of noise. And I can put it on the table. And I put a layer of felt around the edge. And then I sprayed it, of course. But So I basically made a dice tray. I made this for my in-house gaming. So when we're playing, I can have these dice trays on the table, and people can use them to roll dice so they don't go flying all over the table or hitting other miniatures. Well, I got these trays, and I got them at a different size. This is like an 8-inch, and this is like a 12-inch. And this one fits right in the inside of that one, so I can carry it around like this. I am gonna carry it down to the convention. It might help. A third one might have been good because we're doing 3 tables, but it's not necessary. They can roll dice on the table. It's fine. I need to finish maybe making some more range rulers, but you don't really need it. You can use tape measures and you can use rulers. Everybody's going to own their own tape measure and ruler. If not, I'm going to bring a handful of rulers and yardsticks and stuff like that that people can use to measure. So that's not going to be a problem. I have a bunch of those sticks already. I don't know exactly how many. I'm going to have to dig out. I've got a whole bundle of sticks down there. I'm going to have to figure out exactly how many I have. But that's also going to be in the next 3 days. Or the 3 days after. Over the next week, I'm going to be working on finishing up the painting. And I'm also going to have to box these up in a way where I can carry them. And I want to have 4 or 6 different trays, which I've got a million trays over there, and each one of these could fit in a tray. So I could carry 2 of those to the convention and pull a tray out, and that's what the troops are. And I don't need to bring a whole bunch of extra models. I'm going to figure it out. I have some tote bags that have styrofoam inserts that you can put troops in. I'm going to have to dig those out and see if I've got enough to put this entire army in there. And if I do, great, because I got like 3 of them. They're like army totes. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let me get up. Let me get the camera. Let's focus in on these guys. And I'm going to kind of show you what I've got done and what still needs to be painted. This is the first para unit. I've got a couple of Jeeps here. You can kind of see right there. This is the British para Jeeps. You can see they're not fully painted yet. So I need to get those finished. But everything else is ready. You notice I got a couple of Polish guys out here, but that's just because I needed to use them. We got our, I did a video on painting the snipers. We got the anti-tank gun. I've got the commander and his attendants, and I've got these squads. You notice the British don't have full squads. I did it on purpose, so they have more maneuverability, more command and control. Okay. Okay, we got some German SS. It's a debate on whether or not it's the 9th or the 10th. I was planning on doing the 10th Aufklärungs, but I think it's the 9th actually, because the 10th SS headed towards Nijmegen and then came back. So they fought around the actual Arnhem Bridge, where the 9th SS, I think, was the ones that surrounded the British, you know, in the northern portion of the Arnhem. And that's kind of the battle that we're playing. So I've got these half-tracks. You can see I've got the 250 and the 251s. But they're not finished on the inside, even though that does look pretty good like that. Just a little brown and tan. It does look pretty good on the inside, but it's actually not finished. I was going to do some decals, and then I was also going to put some pine boughs on there. And I've mixed up my P-dot camouflage with my Blitzkrieg troops, because these guys have a different quality level than these guys, and they're located in a different place. These are like training guys that are on just training maneuvers or whatever, and these are the actual SS. Okay, so that should be good. All right. That says I got 9 dice. Okay. This says I got 13 dice. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I got 13 dice on that table for the Brits. Didn't think that, but okay. And then, okay, this is the 82nd. The second, you know, it's all mostly infantry. You got 3 squads of infantry. I'm violating the army building rules, and I'm violating the army building rules a variety of different ways because I want to. These guys have 2 bazookas. You're only supposed to have 1. This is a captain, and there's no lieutenant. So it's like there's only a captain and his attendants. We can assume that maybe a lieutenant, the platoon leader, is with the captain, and they're working together in one little group. But the captain is what's exerting his command. And you'll also notice I use the green paratroopers here, but I also have some just regular American infantry, non-paratroopers, but hey, they're American infantry. We'll call them paratroopers. Oops, what am I doing? That's the British. Okay, and there's the Fallschirmjägers, which also have 2 little training units, but they have a Stug 3G with Scherzen, and you got your captain. That's something else. Every army out here is led by a captain and no lieutenant. I did that on purpose. And this is the fountain that I did. Now this is 3D printed by Mike. Super light. It's made of plastic. It's awesome. Okay, and I've got these guys. I still need to make a couple more because I want to have enough for these half tracks. I want to have enough for these 2 Jeeps and the armored car and the tank. And I think I've got 2 more sets over there, so that'll give me a total of like 12. That should be enough. Okay, we'll go with the Germans first on this one. This is the Son.Veghel, guys. You're looking at, again, this is like a Hermann Göring squad. It's actually fanatics. And then you've got the 3 Panzer Grenadiers. And then, of course, the Puma, right? Okay. And then the 101st has 3 full paratrooper squads with the machine guns and the BARs and all kinds of junk. They got a sniper and, again, 2 bazookas and a captain. Now, the scenario actually calls for Captain Winters to be there, so this is going to be Captain Winters. And then, of course, the medic. Captain Winters has a special ability which I feel redundant because the Captain Winters ability gives everybody within 12 inches of him the stubborn trait. But guess what? The paratroopers already get the stubborn trait. The only ones that don't have the stubborn trait are like the medic, the bazookas, and the sniper. Right? So any of these guys that are within 12 inch will get the stubborn, but they already have it. Yep, he's the only special character that's going to be on the table, so is Captain Winters. Alright, well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video, and I might do another one when we get a little bit closer to the day of, or whatever, when I have everything packed, so you can kind of see everything packed, or maybe I'll do a video as I pack or something, I don't know, but or when I get these guys painted. Oh yeah, the Stug is not fully painted either. I still need to put a decal on there and do a few more detail works on there, but it's pretty close to me. It's playable. Alright guys, catch you next time.